The ring slipped onto my finger like a noose tightening around my heart. Cold metal biting into skin that still remembered the bruises from our last fight. "I do," Tyler whispered, his voice cracking like thunder in a too-quiet chapel, eyes locked on mine with a desperation that mirrored the storm raging inside me. And just like that, in front of God, family, and a handful of friends who thought they knew us, I said the words that sealed our fate. "I do," even as every fiber of my being screamed to run. It wasn't always this way. Back in freshman year at UCLA, Tyler Hayes was the golden boy I couldn't stand. The one who breezed through psych lectures with that smug grin, acing debates while the rest of us scrambled for scraps of approval from Professor Lang. I was Zachary Ellis, the awkward kid from a nowhere town in Ohio, buried in books and buried deeper in my own skin, hiding the fact that I liked boys the way you hide a felony. Tyler, he was everything I wasn't. Effortlessly cool, with sun-bleached hair that fell just right, a laugh that filled rooms, and a girlfriend on each arm depending on the weekend. Or so I thought. Our first clash came in that godforsaken group project for Intro to Abnormal Psych. Assigned partners by some cruel twist of the syllabus, we were stuck dissecting Freud's daddy issues for 3 weeks straight. I'd show up to the library at dawn, notes meticulously color-coded, only to find him sauntering in hours later, coffee in hand, cracking jokes about how repressed desires make the world go round. "Ellis," he'd say, leaning back in his chair like he owned the damn place, "lighten up. It's not like we're curing cancer here." I'd bite my tongue so hard it bled, reminding myself that confrontation wasn't survival in a world that already eyed me sideways for being the quiet gay kid who transferred after high school whispers got too loud back home. But Tyler pushed buttons I didn't even know I had. One night, fueled by too much cheap beer from a kegger we both crashed, he cornered me in the dorm hallway. "Why do you hate me so much, Zach?" His breath was warm against my ear, close enough that I could smell the hops, and that cologne that lingered like regret. I shoved him off, heart hammering not from anger, but something sharper, more dangerous. "Because you're a fake," I spat, the words tasting like truth serum. Parading around like life's a rom-com, when we both know it's a horror show. He laughed it off, but his eyes, those piercing blue eyes, darkened, and for a split second, I saw it. A crack in the armor, a boy as lost as I was. That crack widened over the years. Sophomore year, we ended up in the same off-campus house, a crumbling Victorian split 6 ways among psych majors too broke for anything better. Rent was dirt cheap, but tolerance? That was the real currency. Tyler brought home girls, blondes, brunettes, the occasional redhead, each one louder than the last, their giggles echoing through thin walls like accusations. I'd lie in my room, headphones blasting indie folk to drown it out, wondering why it twisted my gut more than it should. Was it jealousy? No, couldn't be. I hated him, remember? Hated how he hogged the bathroom mirror, preening like a peacock, or how he'd blast Springsteen at 2 a.m., belting Born to Run, off-key until the neighbors banged on the walls. Yet, there were moments, stolen, reluctant, that chipped away at the hate. Like the time I came out to the house during a rainy November, voice shaking as I admitted over lukewarm pizza that yeah, I was gay, and no, I wasn't going anywhere. The room went pin-drop silent, forks hovering midair. Tyler was the first to break it, sliding a beer across the table with a nod. "Cool. Pass the pepperoni." No fanfare, no questions, just acceptance wrapped in nonchalance. It unnerved me more than outright support would have. Later that night, as thunder rolled in from the Pacific, he knocked on my door. "Hey, Ellis, if anyone's giving you shit, you tell me. We're roommates, right? That's code for I got your back." I mumbled a thanks, door half closed, but his words lodged like a splinter, festering into something I couldn't name. Junior year brought the real fractures. Tyler's crowd, the frat-adjacent bros who tailgate Bruins games with enough bravado to fill the Rose Bowl, started circling like sharks. Rumors swirled. Tyler was spiraling, grades slipping, skipping classes for mysterious reasons. I caught him once, slumped on the porch steps at dawn, staring at his phone like it held the secrets to the universe. "Family drama," he grunted when I asked, waving me off. But I saw the shadows under his eyes, the way his hands trembled. My own secrets weren't far behind. I'd started seeing Marcus, a grad student in lit with a poet's soul, and a body that made my knees weak. He was out and proud, the kind of guy who quoted Whitman at breakfast and held my hand in Westwood Village without flinching. For the first time, I felt seen, not as the side character in someone else's story, but as the lead. Tyler noticed. Of course he did. "So, you're with that bookworm now?" he asked one afternoon in the kitchen, chopping onions for some half-assed stir-fry like it was therapy. His knife work was sloppy, aggressive. I shrugged, grabbing a beer from the fridge. "Yeah, what's it to you?" He paused, blade hovering. "Just, be careful, man. Not everyone's as open-minded as they pretend." The warning hung heavy, laced with something bitter. That night, Marcus and I fought. Stupid stuff, about me being too closed off, too guarded. He stormed out, and I ended up on the couch, scrolling through Tyler's Instagram out of spite. Endless parties, shirtless beach shots, captions dripping with irony. But buried in the archives was a photo I'd missed. Him at 16, arms around a boy with shy eyes, both grinning like the world was theirs. Deleted now, but the ghost lingered. Who was the real Tyler Hayes? By senior year, the house felt like a pressure cooker. Marcus dumped me in February, right after Valentine's, saying I was in love with my walls more than me. It stung, but Tyler was there with takeout Thai and bad action movies, no pity in his eyes, just quiet company. "Fuck him," he said, clinking his fork against mine. "You're better off solo. Gives you room to breathe." We talked that night, really talked, for the first time. About Ohio, where my dad still pretended my phase would pass with a good job and a nice girl. About Texas, where Tyler's folks ran a ranch and expected him to take over, marry local, pop out heirs. "They don't get it," he said softly, staring at the TV glow. "The pressure. It's like drowning on dry land." I nodded, throat tight. For a heartbeat, our hands brushed on the couch, and neither pulled away. Electricity hummed, unspoken, until he cleared his throat and cracked a joke about Bruce Willis's hairline. That brush ignited something reckless. Spring break, we road tripped to Big Sur, impromptu, just the two of us, escaping midterms and malaise. The Pacific Highway twisted like our thoughts, cliffs dropping to waves that crashed with indifferent fury. We hiked Pfeiffer Beach at dusk, purple sand cool underfoot, the keyhole arch framing a sunset that bled orange into the sea. Tyler stripped to his boxers, diving into the surf like a dare. "Come on, Ellis. Live a little." I hesitated, then joined, the cold shock stealing my breath. We floated there, side by side, salt stinging our eyes. "This," he said, voice barely above the roar. "This is what freedom feels like." Back at the campfire, embers spitting into the night, he leaned in. Close, too close, and our lips met. Soft at first, tentative, then hungry, years of hate unraveling in a kiss that tasted like sea and surrender. But dawn brought regret. Tyler bolted upright, eyes wide with panic. "Shit, Zach. That was... We can't." He dressed in silence, the drive home a graveyard of awkward small talk. Back in LA, he avoided me, ditching the house for his parents' place, throwing himself into job fairs like a man possessed. I spiraled, replaying that night, convincing myself it was a fluke, a beer-fueled mistake. Graduation came in a blur of caps and gowns, handshakes, and hollow cheers. Tyler shook my hand last, grip firm, but eyes averted. "Take care, Ellis. Don't be a stranger." Then he was gone, off to some consulting gig in San Francisco, leaving me in the dust of Westwood. 2 years passed in a haze. I landed in Seattle, rainy days blurring into nights at a nonprofit counseling queer youth. Ironic, given my own baggage. Dates came and went, none sticking, each one a pale echo of that Big Sur fire. Tyler haunted my periphery. LinkedIn updates about promotions, a wedding invite from a mutual friend, his sister's, not his. Then, out of nowhere, an email, coffee, SF layover. T. My thumb hovered over delete, but curiosity, or masochism, won. We met at a hole in the wall in the Mission, fog rolling in like old ghosts. He looked good, sharper suit, same grin, but weary, lines etched around his eyes. "Congrats on the job," he said, stirring sugar into black coffee. Small talk flowed, then stalled. Finally, I cracked. "Big Sur. What the hell was that?" He sighed, running a hand through his hair. "A mistake. I was messed up, figuring shit out. I'm not. You know. The words landed like punches. Not gay. Not bi. Straight as the arrow he'd always pretended to be. I laughed, bitter. Yeah, well, it felt pretty damn real to me. He reached across the table, then pulled back. Zach, listen. My family's conservative as hell. Dad's got health issues, the ranch is sinking. I can't blow it up. Not now. Lies, I thought. Excuses. But his voice broke on the last word. And damn if it didn't tug at the hate I'd rebuilt. We didn't kiss that day. Didn't even hug goodbye. But emails turned to calls, calls to visits. He flew to Seattle for work, crashed on my couch, and we'd talk until the city lights dimmed, about everything and nothing, skirting the edges of what we'd started. I fell, slow and stupid, into something that felt like love. He mirrored it, in fragments. A hand on my knee during a Mariners game, stolen glances over Thai takeout. You're the only one who gets it. He'd murmur, vulnerability slipping through like sunlight through blinds. The proposal came on a whim, 6 months in, atop the Space Needle during a freak clear day. Rain held off, the sound glittering below. Marry me, he said, not with a ring but a keychain from the gift shop. A cheap needle replica, dangling like a promise. Let's make it official. Fuck the hate, right? I said yes, heart soaring, ignoring the whisper that this was too fast, too fragile. Planning blurred into reality. A small ceremony in a Berkeley chapel, my mom flying in from Ohio, Dad declined, family values and all, his sister beaming as best man. Vows exchanged, rice thrown, reception at a dive bar with craft IPAs and Springsteen on the jukebox. But honeymoons aren't all bliss. Ours was in Palm Springs, desert heat mirroring the simmer in my chest. Tyler was distant, phone glued to his hand, text from work that he angled away. One night, after too many margaritas, I snatched it. The screen glowed with messages from Alex, intimate, coded, miss our runs. When's the next escape? Heart in my throat. I confronted him poolside, stars wheeling overhead. Who the fuck is Alex? His face crumpled, then hardened. An old friend. Nothing. But the lie reeked, and the fight exploded. Words like shrapnel, accusations flying. You're still playing pretend. Was the wedding just another act? He grabbed my shirt, eyes wild. You think this is easy? Coming out means losing everything. My job, my family, me. I shoved him away, storming to the room, doors slamming like finality. Sleep evaded, mind replaying every red flag. The deleted photo, the warnings, the panic after Big Sur. Dawn brought a knock, soft, hesitant. Tyler stood there, eyes red-rimmed, a letter in hand. Read this. It was from his dad, postmarked Texas. A will revision, cutting him out if he didn't settle down proper. Dated months before the proposal. I married you to save face, he whispered. To prove I'm not broken. But Zach, it's more. You're the only real thing I've got. Betrayal burned, hot and righteous. I packed that morning, cab to the airport, leaving him in the dust of the driveway. Back in Seattle, I ghosted him, blocked numbers, deleted emails, threw myself into work like it could cauterize the wound. Clients' stories echoed mine. Hidden loves, shattered trusts, the American dream twisted into a queer nightmare. Months dragged, then a call from his sister. Tyler was in the hospital, breakdown after the ranch folded, Dad passing without a word. He needs you, Zach, even if it's just to yell. I flew to Austin, rental car eating miles to the hill country. The ranch was a skeleton, faded barn, windmills creaking like ghosts. Tyler sat on the porch, thinner, beard unkempt, but those eyes. Still blue, still pulling. You came, he said, voice raw. No hello, no pretense. We talked for hours, sun dipping low, cicadas chorusing our confessions. The secrets spilled. Alex was a beard, a straight colleague roped into the charade for family photos. The proposal? Panic after his therapist called him out on denial. I hated you in college because you saw me, he admitted. The real me, before I buried him. Hate thawed into understanding, layer by layer. My own walls cracked. Admitting I'd used the anger as armor, fearing the vulnerability of wanting him. Night fell, and we sat shoulder to shoulder, hands entwined, the stars of vast American quilt overhead. No grand gestures, just quiet. I'm sorry. Me too. Forgiveness isn't fireworks. It's the slow burn of embers, warming what was scorched. We didn't rush back to us. Therapy first, joint sessions in SF, unpacking the baggage like old suitcases. I moved south, consulting gig bridging the distance. His coming out was messy. Family fractured, friends faded, but a few held. His sister, our old housemates. The wedding redo? Simple, on that Big Sur beach, waves whispering vows anew. No rings this time, just promises etched in sand and sea. Looking back, the hate was love in disguise, rough-hewn and relentless. Marrying him didn't fix us, it forced the reckoning. And in the quiet aftermath, as we build a life from ruins, adopting a rescue dog named Freud, hosting game nights for the outcasts, we find the humanism in the hurt. That even in betrayal's shadow, love endures, American as apple pie and second chances. Life after the redo wasn't a fairy tale. It was more like a gritty indie film, raw edges, plot twists, and a soundtrack of Bruce Springsteen mixed with Phoebe Bridgers. Tyler and I settled in a one-bedroom in Oakland, close enough to the bay for weekend kayaks, but buffered from the city's chaos. Mornings started with coffee on the fire escape, his head on my shoulder, discussing everything from client crises, mine, to boardroom battles, his. Nights ended tangled in sheets, not with passion's fire but comfort's glow, hands tracing scars, both literal and not. The dog, Freud, snored at our feet, a furry therapist judging our progress. But old wounds fester. 3 months in, Tyler's phone buzzed during dinner, a text from Dad's estate lawyer. His face paled, fork clattering. "It's nothing," he lied, but I saw the tremor. Later, alone, I peeked, trust issues die hard, and found emails, disputes over the ranch sale, his brother contesting the will, painting Tyler as the disappointment who abandoned family for sin. Words like unnatural and greed leaped off the screen, each one a knife twist. I confronted him gently, over chamomile tea. "Talk to me, Ty. We're in this." He broke then, sobs shaking his frame. "They think I killed him, stress from my lifestyle. I can't lose them all." The conflict ripped open fresh. I pushed for boundaries, blocked the brother, hire a mediator, but Tyler wavered, guilt his oldest lover. "Blood's thicker," he'd say, echoing his dad's sermons. It sparked our first real post-wedding fight, in the kitchen under fluorescent hum. Blood didn't stop them from disowning you. I yelled, voice echoing off cabinets. He fired back. "Easy for you to say. Your mom's sending pride flags, mine's burning bridges." We slept apart that night, Freud wedged between like a referee. Dawn brought apologies, but the rift lingered, a fault line in our foundation. Work amplified it. My nonprofit expanded, pulling me to Portland for trainings on queer youth resilience. Ironic, as I questioned my own. Tyler's firm sent him to D.C. for a month. Networking, that smelled like escape. Calls grew sparse, laced with static. One night, buzzed on bourbon, he confessed, "I saw Alex at a conference. We talked. Old times." My stomach dropped. Talked about what? Running away? Silence stretched, then, no. About how I finally told him the truth about us. Relief mixed with rage. Why confide in the ghost first? "Because you're safe now," he said. "But Alex, he was my confessor before you." Jealousy gnawed, irrational but real. Back home, I threw myself into a new project, a support group for late bloomers. Men like Tyler coming out in their 30s amid crumbling facades. Stories poured in, marriages dissolved, kids caught in crossfire, careers torpedoed. One guy, Paul from Tacoma, mirrored Tyler. Ranch raised, closeted till 35, now fighting for visitation after his ex outed him in court. "The betrayal's not the lie," Paul said over Zoom, eyes hollow. "It's realizing you lied to yourself longest." It hit like gospel, forcing me to journal my hates. The college resentment masking desire, the post-Big Sur denial as self-preservation. Tyler read it one rainy afternoon, tears smudging ink. "I get it now," he whispered. The hate was fear, of wanting what scares you most. Summer brought a pilgrimage, Texas road trip, not to conquer but confront. We flew into Austin, rented a truck, drove dusty back roads to the old ranch. It was sold, new owners, a young couple with toddlers chasing chickens, but the land remembered. We walked fence lines, Tyler pointing out boyhood hides. The oak where he carved initials with that first boy, the creek where he'd dream of escape. At dusk, by the windmill's groan, he called his brother. Speakerphone crackled with venom. You show up now? After parading your shame? Tyler's voice steadied. Not shame, Ben. Love. And I'm done apologizing. Click. The line went dead, but so did something in him. The last tether to a toxic root. We camped that night, stars thick as regrets. Around the fire, stories flowed. My high school hell, locker room slurs after a stolen glance. His prom date as cover, heart aching for the quarterback shadow. Laughter mixed with tears, intimacy born of shared fractures. Making love under canvas wasn't fireworks but hearth, slow, affirming, bodies mapping forgiveness. You're my home, he murmured after, breath warm on my neck. In that moment, the American vastness felt small, conquerable. Fall tested us anew. Tyler's promotion demanded a move to New York, Wall Street grind, suits and schmoozing. It's temporary, he promised, but uprooting gnawed at me. Seattle roots ran deep. Friends who'd held my hand through Marcus, the nonprofit where I mentored kids like 16-year-old Jamie, outed by a Snapchat gone viral. Leaving felt like abandonment. Choose. I said one frantic night, rain lashing windows. Us or the climb. He chose us, turned down the offer, stayed in Oakland, pivoting to remote consulting. Money's paper, he said. You're irreplaceable. Gratitude bloomed, but so did my shadows. Holiday season unearthed mine. Mom's visit, all passive smiles, and so, when grandkids. Dad's absence loomed, a silent indictment. Tyler sensed it, planning a surprise, Thanksgiving with my extended fam in Ohio, unannounced. The farmhouse table groaned under turkey and tension. Aunts quizzed Tyler on the business. Uncles side-eyed our clasped hands. After pie, Dad pulled me aside in the garage, tools clinking like accusations. This ain't right, son. God's got plans. Heart pounding, I countered. His plan put Tyler in my life. That's enough. He walked away, but a week later, a card arrived. Proud of you, kid. Even if I don't get it. Progress, jagged but real. New Year's brought the unexpected. Tyler's ex, not Alex, but a deeper ghost, surfaced. College era, pre-Big Sur. A guy named Ryan, the boy in that deleted photo. Now a journalist in Chicago, he emailed Tyler an article draft, Closeted Cowboys, The Hidden Queer Lives of Rural America. It featured Tyler anonymously, but Ryan wanted quotes, photos. For the cause, Ryan wrote. Tyler froze, manuscript trembling. He outed me once before, accidentally, to friends. Cost me everything back then. The dilemma tore him. Speak for the silenced, risk exposure, or silence, perpetuate the cage. I urged caution. Your voice matters, but not at our expense. But Tyler wrestled demons. Nights blurred into debates, Freud pacing anxious circles. Climax hit during a blizzard, power out, candles flickering shadows. I'm doing it, he declared. Not for Ryan, for the kid I was, hiding in creeks. Interviews flew, article dropped in spring. Raw, riveting, Tyler's words, anonymized, cutting deep. Backlash roared. Trolls online, a cousin's furious voicemail, but support surged, letters from ranch queers, a TEDx invite. Tyler glowed, liberated. I swelled with pride, our bond steel-forged. Yet, the article unearthed my own buried mine. Reading it, I flashed to college Tyler, the fake I despised, and realized my hate was projection, fearing my own closet. Therapy unpacked it. Sessions where I voiced the rage at a world that forced us underground. Tyler listened, holding space, then shared his resentment at my perfection, the out-and-proud facade masking my fractures. We were mirrors, he said, hating what we saw. By summer's end, we'd woven a tapestry, flawed, vibrant. A backyard barbecue for the group. Paul from Tacoma grilling, Jamie, now 17, thriving, DJing queer anthems. Tyler proposed a toast, to the hates that led us home. Laughter rose. And in his eyes, I saw the boy from the quad, the man from Big Sur, the husband who'd chosen us. The journey wasn't linear, scars itched, doubts whispered. But in the mess, we found grace, love as rebellion, forgiveness as revolution, two American hearts beating defiant sync. Autumn leaves turned Oakland gold, but inside, tempests brewed. Tyler's article ripple effects hit like aftershocks. A book deal offer from a progressive press. Tempting, but terrifying. Exposure on steroids. He joked over breakfast, but his eyes betrayed the churn. I supported. Hell, I proofread drafts, but envy crept unbidden. My counseling book, pitched years ago, gathered dust. His voice, raw from lived ache, soared. It's not a competition, I told my reflection, but late nights, laptop glow illuminating doubts, I wondered, was I the psychic in his redemption arc? The misunderstanding deepened during a conference in D.C., my nonprofit's annual, his excuse to tag along. Panels buzzed with activists, trans elders sharing Stonewall scars, non-binary youth decoding TikTok traumas. Tyler networked effortlessly, charm dialed high, while I moderated a breakout on late in life coming out. Post-session, a cluster of admirers cornered him. Your piece changed my life. Gushing ensued, hands on arms, laughs too loud. I watched from afar, gut twisting, not jealousy of attention, but of ease. He'd shed his skin, mine clung stubborn. Dinner devolved it. At a Georgetown bistro, candlelit and cramped, wine loosened tongues. A colleague, Mark, openly gay, silver fox charismatic, probed Tyler. How'd you flip the script? From closet to crusader. Tyler demurred, crediting a certain stubborn Ohio boy, winking at me. But Mark pressed. And the wife? Exes make the best allies, huh? The table tittered. Tyler's smile faltered. Husband, I corrected sharply, fork stabbing salad. Silence blanketed, then Tyler's laugh, forced, fracturing. Lighten up, Zach. It's a joke. But it wasn't. It echoed every erasure, every ally pat on the head. The cab ride home was arctic. You let him, I accused, city lights streaking tears. Minimize us like we're punchlines. Tyler snapped. Not everything's a battlefield. I was diffusing. Fight escalated in the hotel, voices hushed but venomous. You're still performing, I hurled. The reformed straight guy, charming the straights. He recoiled. And you're the martyr, always aggrieved. Ever think I need room to breathe? Door slammed. I crashed on the lobby couch, scrolling X till dawn. Feeds flooded with queer wins, but comments seethed. Tokenism, trauma porn. Was that us? Morning brought olive branches, coffee, croissants, Tyler's hand extended. I fucked up. Old habits. We dissected it over room service. My trigger rooted in college slights, his in family facades. We're both performers, he admitted. But the audience is just us now. Reconciliation was tentative, a walk along the tidal basin, cherry blossoms mocking our wilt. Jefferson Memorial loomed, marble man of contradictions, Tyler quipped, founding fathers of fuck-ups. Laughter cracked the ice, leading to deeper dives, fears of fading relevance, of love curdling into complacency. Back west, the book ballooned Tyler's profile, podcasts, panels, a viral thread on rural queer isolation. I cheered publicly, stewed privately. My own milestone. Promoting Jamie to junior counselor, her first group lead on digital coming out. Watching her command the room, poised, unapologetic, stirred pride laced with ache. You're the real change maker, I told Tyler that night, vulnerability spilling. He pulled me close. Nah, I'm the loudmouth, you're the quiet force. It soothed, but the chasm whispered, are we equals or echoes? Winter's chill ushered crisis. Tyler's brother Ben resurfaced, not with rage, but olive oil. A letter, postmarked Dallas, apologizing for harsh words, inviting reconciliation. Family's family, it read. Tyler agonized, pacing our flat like a caged wolf. One lunch. Neutral ground. I balked. He's poison. But love means yielding. I nodded, masking dread. They met in Austin, me on standby, heart in throat. Updates trickled, civil. Talking ranch history. Then radio silence. Hours later, call, Tyler's voice wrecked. He knew. About the article. Dad's ghostwriter or some shit. Twisted it into seduced by city vices. Now he's threatening a tell-all blog, outing details I anonymized. Rage boiled, betrayal sequel, blood-tainted. Tyler spiraled, canceled book events, drafted retraction emails. I should have stayed silent. I hauled him to therapy, emergency double session, couch sagging under grief. This isn't defeat, our counselor urged. It's the cost of visibility. But costs mount. Tyler's sleep fractured, mind vigilant. Freud sensed it, whining at doors. One blizzard night, power flickering, Tyler confessed deeper. Ben said, "You're turning me, Zach. Like love's a contagion." The words gutted, echoing Dad's garage sermon, college slurs. I held him as sobs racked. "You're not turned. You're you, braver than they deserve." Decision loomed, jagged. Sue for defamation? Go public, flip the narrative? Or retreat, let lies lie? Tyler chose confrontation, not fists, but facts. We co-wrote a response, op-ed for The Guardian, reclaiming my story, a queer brother's reckoning. It dropped like a grenade. Tyler's full name, our photo, hands intertwined, smiles defiant, dissecting the manipulation. Backlash doubled, trolls bayed, but allies amplified. Glad shoutouts, donor spikes for my nonprofit. Ben slunk silent, blog birth stillborn. The victory was Pyrrhic, scars silvering. Spring thawed us outward, a cabin getaway in Tahoe, snowshoeing pine-scented trails. There, under aurora-veiled skies, Tyler proposed again, not marriage, but mission. Let's start a foundation. Rural queer support, scholarships, safe houses. My heart swelled. This was synergy, not shadow. We brainstormed by firelight. Names, Outback allies. Visions, mobile clinics, online forums. Intimacy reignited. Not just bodies, but souls, sharing dreams deferred, like my novel on youth resilience, his podcast series. Yet, climax brewed unexpected. Summer solstice, a package arrived. Ryan's journal, mailed posthumously, suicide. Chicago PD note enclosed. Pages chronicled his own late bloom, inspired by Tyler's article, but tormented by unhealed rifts. You saved me, then broke me. One entry read, "By living the truth I couldn't." Guilt crashed, Tyler's, mine by proxy. Did we glamour it? He wept, journal trembling. Make coming out seem easy? Vigils followed, virtual reads for Ryan, donations in his name. It forced reckoning. Our story's light cast others' shadows. Humanism's messy, I said, holding him. We honor by persisting. Fall mended, incrementally. Foundation launched. First event, a barn dance in Texas. Irony intentional. Queers from Dust Bowl towns two-stepping to queer country. Tyler emceed, voice steady. I facilitated breakout circles, Jamie co-leading. Watching him, spotlit, authentic, dissolved envy. We were ensemble, not solo. Night's end, under strung lights, he pulled me to dance. Slow sway to wagon wheel, body synced. Hated you once, he murmured. Love you eternally. The words healed, hate's echo faint. But depth demands darkness. My annual check-in unearthed complacency. Are we coasting? Therapist probed. Tyler and I journaled separately, then shared. His fear of stagnation, mine of codependence. We pivoted, solo trips. Him to Provincetown for writing retreat. Me to New Orleans for jazz-fueled soul search. Distance clarified. Calls crackled with missing, reunions fervent. You're my mirror, he said upon return, reflecting better versions. Thanksgiving circled wagons. Mom hosted, Dad tentative. First appearance since the card. Grip firm on Tyler's handshake. Heard about the book. Sounds important. Progress, glacial. Pies cooled as stories warmed. Dad's World War II, queer uncle, buried secret. Tears flowed, bridges tentatively rebuilt. As snow dusted Ohio fields, I realized, family isn't blood alone, but chosen fires. Tyler's hand in mine, Mom's laugh, Dad's nod. The hate-of-year? Fertilizer for this bloom. Winter's grip loosened into a new year, resolutions etched not in gyms, but gravestones. Ryan's shadow lingering, urging intentionality. Tyler and I dove into the foundation full tilt. Grant writing by dawn, field visits by dusk. First safe house ribbon cut in Lubbock, modest adobe, rainbow flag fluttering defiant against prairie winds. Locals picketed, signs scrawled Sodom's Gate. But inside, teens exhaled. A 17-year-old named Eli, run from conversion camp, sketching futures on napkins. This is holy, Tyler whispered, arm around me. In those moments, our union sanctified. Love is activism, hate's antithesis. But equilibrium invites upset. Spring unearthed a secret. Not Tyler's, mine. Sorting Mom's attic during Easter visit, I found letters, Dad's, to a J. From 82, postmarks Philly. Love notes, coded, miss your laugh in the stacks. A hidden bisexual dad, closeted through my youth. Shock rippled, confrontation over pot roast, voice quavering. Why hide? Dad's eyes welled. Your mom. The town. Feared tainting you. Tyler squeezed my knee under table. Later, porch whispers mended. It explains the walls, Zach. But you're free. Forgiveness flowed, paternal now. Dad joining PFLAG, tentative steps. The revelation catalyzed mine, pitching my book anew. Echoes of silence, guiding late bloomers home. Publisher bit, queer press in Brooklyn, advance modest but mighty. Tyler celebrated with rooftop oysters, city skyline toasting. Your voice, finally. But launch loomed, anxiety's twin, exposure's glare, our private made public. Joint reading in SF. Packed house, nerves electric. I read first. Excerpt on Big Sir's kiss, voice cracking on hate's unravel. Applause thundered. Tyler followed, weaving our threads. Q&A turned therapy. A man, 50s, teary. You too. You make hope tangible. Backstage, embrace fierce. We're the story now. Summer swelled with synchronicities. Foundation's podcast debuted. Tyler's host. My episodes on psych resilience. Guests poured. Elders recounting raids. Youth decoding apps. 1. A trans ranch hand from Wyoming, echoed Tyler. Came out to horses first, they don't judge. Laughter-laced grief, building bridges. Personally, we adventured. Road trip retracing Route 66, stops at diners for pie and processing. Grand Canyon Rim, sunset gilding chasms, Tyler knelt. Not proposal, but pledge. Vow to keep choosing the hard truths. I echoed, ringless but ringed in resolve. Climax crested unexpectedly, monsoon style. August heat wave, Tyler's doc appointment. Routine, but gut insisted otherwise. Verdict, early lymphoma, caught via checkup irony. World tilted, sterile room, pamphlets blurring. Treatable, oncologist assured, 90% remission. But fear's arithmetic defies odds. Nights of what-ifs, days of denial. Tyler armored up, bossing cancer like I bossed closets. I crumbled private. Therapy floods, journaling rage at unfairness. Why him? Mom soothed over calls. Loves the why, fuels the fight. Treatment odyssey tested sinews. Chemo cycles in SF, me shuttling work. Barf bags and banter. Tyler quipping through nausea. Bald's the new black. But depths plunged. Isolation ward solitudes. Mirror-shocked reflections. One midnight infusion. Machines beeping dirge. He gripped my hand. If I don't. No, I chose this life. You. Tears salted IVs. I vowed. You will. We're unfinished. Support netted. Jamie fundraised bake sales. Dad drove cross-country for visits. Bearing, Ohio chili. Ben? A card heard. Thinking of you. Fracture thawing. Remission bells rang October. Scans clean. Hair stubs sprouting defiant. Celebration sparse. Backyard fire pit. S. Moraes and Springsteen. Inner circle toasting. Tyler, gaunt but grinning. Hate to cancer, 0. Love to you, infinite. It reframed us. Mortality's lens sharpening joys. Impromptu dances in kitchens. Letters to future selves. Foundation pivoted. Wellness grants for queer chronics. Eli designing murals. Fall's harvest yielded growth. My book released to quiet acclaim. Reviews praising tender ferocity. Signings where fans shared kin to our arc. Tyler guested blurbs. Zach's words healed what mine scarred. Joint TEDx. From hate to horizon. Queer love's long game. Stage lights warm. Slides of Big Sur. Hospital beds. Canyon vows. Applause crescendoed. Post-talk. Emails flooded. Lives nudged toward light. Winter-wrapped resolutions redeemed. Holiday circuit. Ohio for turkey truths. Texas for tentative truce. Ben attended. Words sparse but present. New Year's Eve. Oakland Hills. Fireworks blooming. Tyler pulled a box. Rings. Simple gold. Round 3. No redo, just real. Knees bent mutual. Vows whispered. Through hates, betrayals, remissions. I choose you. Dawn broke on signed papers. Civil now eternal. Looking back, college quads to canyon rims, boardrooms to chemo chairs, the arc bends humanistic. No tidy bows, but threads of tenacity. Hate was catalyst, misunderstanding mortar, betrayal chisel, sculpting souls intertwined. In America's vast, varied quilt, from UCLA's bustle to Prairie's hush, we stitched our square. Two men, flawed and fierce, loving loud. The wrong I realized? Not in him, but in fearing the fall. Marrying Tyler taught grace and gravity. Free fall into forever, hands clasped, hearts home. Epilogue whispers. 5 years on, foundation thrives. Safe houses dotting red states. Podcast platinum. Freud's successor, Lacan, chases squirrels. Kids? Not yet, but fostering whispers. Dad officiates pride parades. Ben sends nephew pics. Uncle Ty scrawled. We write still, duets now, anthology brewing. Hates we loved. And in quiet eves, porch swings creaking, Tyler's head on my shoulder. Worth every storm. Yeah, it was.